Let's talk about how to build a program if you just want to be generally fit. You want to look good, you want to move heavy weight, you want to be able to go for a long period of time, and you want to be able to apply those skills to specific sports when you feel like you need to. Okay, so let's first just put a caveat on this and say that if we are choosing this path, we know that we're going to be sacrificing in each specific category. You're only going to be able to get so far in your strength if you're also working on the endurance. You're only going to get so far in the aesthetics if you're also working on strength, right? So there is a little bit of give and take to this, but I see this as basically the most requested results from all of the thousands of clients that I've worked for. Most people, I would probably say around 90% of the clients that I've worked with don't want something very specific. They want a generalized program. So really, we're going to be talking about how to build out that generalized program so that you're not sacrificing in one specific area. And the best place to look for this program is probably going to be the original CrossFit methodology, not the sport of CrossFit, which is kind of been a little bit more popularized recently, but the original methodology, which is specifically designed for general physical preparedness. Before we get into any specific programming, let's talk about some principles that you're going to apply if you want a generalized physical fitness program. Okay, so first thing is going to be variety. If we focus on any one thing, that means that the other things are going to be sacrificed. If I focus on strength for a 12-week cycle, that means that I'm going to probably sacrifice my endurance, right? So what we want to do is, instead of trying to improve one thing and focus and spotlight on one thing and let everything else drop and then switch from thing to thing, what we want to do is we want to work all of our components of fitness across the board simultaneously and slowly move everything up at once. This is going to take a lot longer to see results, so just keep that in mind. However, it is possible, and we don't see any degradation in the areas that we're not focusing on. So the variety is going to be of duration, of movement, of muscle groups. This list isn't exhaustive, but I like to try to keep my variety as much as possible within a given week. So that's kind of the time frame that I'm thinking of, so that I'm seeing heavy lifts, I'm seeing long workouts for cardio, I'm seeing high intensity, and a little bit of that in between workout. So I want to get a variety of movements, of durations, and working my muscle groups throughout the week. Next, we're going to talk about the functionality of the movement. Okay, so this is the function of how much it can impact each of our categories at once. Okay, so typically what we're looking for is compound movements, so it's using multiple joints and multiple muscle groups. And it's also something that can express a lot of power. So power just meaning how much work I can do in a given time, right? So if we think about a power snatch, which is taking something from the ground, picking it all the way up overhead in one motion, that's going to express a lot of power because I can move a large load pretty long distance and I can do it very quickly. However, if I look at the bicep curl, then I'm not going to move a very large load, I'm not moving it very long, and I'm not going to be moving that load very quickly compared to the snatch, right? So we want to do things that are a little bit more like the snatch and a little bit less like the isolation of a bicep curl. And then we want to think about intensity. This is going to be relative to you and to the work that you're doing. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you're going to sprint or you're going to lift the heaviest weight every single time. What it means is, for the given work in front of you, you're going to try to do your best on every session. Okay, so let's take the example of a 5K. If I say today the workout is running a 5K, I want you to try to run your best 5K. I don't want you to try to pace it out at like 70% of what your best 5K time is. I want you to also, when we go to lift a 3x10 on back squat, I want you to try to go up to a maximal weight so you're almost at failure on the 10th rep. I don't want you to try to lift your 1 rep max 10 times. That's not what the intensity means, okay? So it just means doing your best on every given component, every given session. Okay, let's go over what a week of programming would look like if you're trying to build out a generalized program. Now, first I'd like to just mention that it is the hardest way to program if you're going for the category of everything all at once, because you have to try to keep balance with all the other subcategories. So going into that, I like to program by separating out these subcategories for me to keep track of throughout the week, so that I know that I'm keeping balance on muscle groups, on the type of work that I'm doing, and also the duration of work that I'm gonna be doing. So let's just go into a couple of workouts and go through them. So Monday would be a quad and a lat focus, where we're doing body weight and weightlifting. It's gonna be at a moderate time duration, around or exactly 12 minutes. It's gonna be a 12-minute AMRAP of pull-ups, back squats, and calorie bike. But then on Friday, we can see that we have a little bit longer workout where we're working our core, our back, and our hips. We're gonna be doing body weight and cardio, so no weights in this one. And it's going to be rowing, hanging knee raises, and skiing. We're gonna be working for about 24 minutes for that workout. Okay, so what I'm looking for is just to keep variety all the way through the week and make sure that I'm not putting too much emphasis in one area of these muscle groups, the type of work that I'm doing, or the duration. So try to make sure that you're tracking things as you program for yourself, and have fun with it. Try to play around. The nice thing about the all-in-one generalized program is that you can try different things all the time, and you can keep mixing it up so that you don't get bored and you can have some fun.